Hello YouTube, this is Retta. I am happy to be back. I know I've been gone for like a week. My son graduated. I'm so excited. He got his 2 bachelors and he's off on his month-long little vacation to see his family out of the country. So I've been busy with him, and then I was going through my own little stages of grief there, trying to come to terms that, my little boy is a young man now. So, um, but right now I'm gonna do a reading on Colin Kirkpatrick. I think that's his name, and I want to see. I want to see what's going on with him, what's coming up for him. What are some of his things that he's going against? I think I'm not really into NFL, but I know some highlights of what he's been going through. I guess from just seeing it on, TV or gossip rags or something. So I guess he came when all these like Black Lives Matter and all these deaths that came out in the police and stuff. Kirkpatrick took a stand. And I guess his way of protesting was to not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or the Star Spangled Banner. I don't know which one it was. And he got a lot of backlash from that. He also, was very vocal about, the deaths of these young black men. And even with his shoes and stuff, I think he also got some fines for, some of his like socks. I'm not sure his shoes, or I don't know. I think he got some fines too. So he's got a lot of backlash, not only in the country in general, but he also got some from the black community. And even though he was speaking out for the black community, he got some backlash. And I can understand that, me being, of mixed race too. Whereas people were saying that he wasn't black enough, or he wasn't really black, and this and that. Let me assure you guys, no matter, my color, may look light. I can, take a curl iron to my hair and my hair will be straight. But trust me, I've been called the N-word just as many times. And I looked at myself and I'm like, well, how did they know? So even in our own community, there is issues amongst color, which it shouldn't be, and so I want to just see whether I agree with what he did or not. I want to see what's going to, I mean, he took a stand, and he has the consequences to deal with whatever stand he took, but he took a stand, which not a lot of people have done. Whether you agree with the stand that he took or not. I would like to, Kirkpatrick, he is, which surprisingly to me, his birth card is the Empress. So he has a lot of feminine energy around him. He is a nurturer. So I can see him taking up the cause of the underdog, feeling he needs to do in some way, his way of trying to protect or to call attention or something. I can see that. That's part of the Empress, that Empress energy, that motherly, that motherly energy. Excuse me, my grandson, he sees I'm on camera, so he's decided to come downstairs and try to make some noise. Go eat. Also, with his birth theme, he has the world. And the world card, is all about his world or your world. It's also has that feminine energy of the Empress. You can look at it as, a vagina, but so it's his world, what goes around and what's surrounding him, so whatever he puts his mind to in his world, he will be successful, whatever he puts his mind to. Also within his birth card is the Hangman, where he will have periods of no movement, where he kind of feels stuck, where he kind of feels like there is no gain, there is no movement. So he has to learn how to understand and to use that Empress energy of create and give birth to new ideas to get out of that stalemate. So I just want to see. I'm going to pull out some cards. Whoops, this card just jumped out at me. Hold on. Hopefully y'all don't. I have a talisman. So that card just jumped out at me. So I'm going to pull another card. And we'll see how that goes with that. I also want to see what energy is surrounding him right now. So, okay, Colin Kaepernick, what energy is surrounding him? Look at this. All these cards just fell out. So, we have the Magician, the Death. All right, so that will go into, I'm going to put that into the reading. Let's see. So, I'm trying to see. That's the first time. I know what it means to me, but I'm just kind of curious as to what they wanted to say. Okay, now let me draw some cards. Shuffle a little bit. I'm going to use the Heart of the Star. What's it? The Heart of Star? What deck is this? The Heart of Stars Tarot. So, Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick. Colin Kirkpatrick, Colin Kirkpatrick, Colin Kaepernick. And I'm thinking about even opening up another channel in regards to have some discussions on some of my videos. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it on this where we can reflect, because I've had some, interesting comments on some of the videos and stuff like that. And I would like to explore the comments and my thoughts on some of the readings I've done, and kind of talk about it a little bit. So, Colin Kirkpatrick. What's in store for him? Where is he at? What's in store for him in the future? Let's see. Colin Kaepernick. What's in store for him? All right. So the talisman. So it says he needs to empower himself. He needs to kind of meditate, or go inside himself and to create, some empowerment. Maybe he's feeling a little out of control. He needs to get in tune, maybe, and use some of his magic, and that magic of manifestation, and make his own magical instrument or board or something to kind of put his intentions in, to help him create whatever success that he wants. Whether he wants to go on this, I think it's the Seahawks team that he's going to train with, whether he wants to be on that team or not, because I think he's a free agent right now. So he's kind of got to use that manifestation right now. Here's another card, blessings. And when he does that, he's going to harness those blessings. He's had a lot of blessings in his life, but he could get more blessings if he does tune into himself and use that manifestation of thought. Focus on what you truly want and desire the most, and create it. And that's what it's basically telling them. And more blessings will come, which is what I'm telling you right here, that these cards just fell out. So it was the Magician. The Magician card is all about, creating, it's manifesting. What you put into it is the direct reflection of what you get out of it. It's also using magic, magically, put your intentions out there, manifest, and and you'll get out of it. You know, you'll get what, you know, what you put in is what you'll get out of it. And it's a time of endings and new beginnings. You know, it's a time for him with all this is what has happened. Look at this time. He needs to look at this time as not just an ending of whoever he, I don't know who was he playing for. I know it was red, a team with red. Like I told you, I don't know nothing about football. But he needs to look at this time, or at this point where he's now a free agent, as the end of one chapter and the beginning of something else. So it's up to him how he wants to go into this new chapter, what he wants to manifest for himself. It's all about manifestation, whatever he wants to. And he has to be careful who he surrounds himself with, what thoughts he surrounds himself with, you know, what thoughts he has in his head, because thoughts are powerful things. You know, whatever you focus on the most is what's going to happen, you know, and we can fool other people, but we can't fool our own self and our own thoughts. So, you know, whatever you focus on the most is what's going to happen. So he needs to not just look at the end or the end of that relationship that he had with that certain football team, or the controversy he had. He needs to look at that as, okay, that's the end. And he needs to reinvent himself and push it outwards, you know, create his manifestation. Like this one says, the death card is outwards, it's not inwards. So he needs to transform himself on the outside with his thoughts and stuff, you know, for this new transformation. And this is, you know, this is the wand, the ace of wand. So it's like his passion, you know, he needs to really focus and do it, you know, do it. Put these thoughts into action, you know, put it into action and do something. You know, don't feel, oh, you know, this is what's happened to me. Look what I did. I tried to stand up for these people, and they had no negativity. Right now, it's a powerful time for him to manifest, and that's what he needs to do. All right, let's see. Where's his head at right now? The King of Pentacles. So he's in a good place. So he's feeling, you know, the King of Pentacles, which is the counterpart to like the Empress, is like the father figure, which, you know, he feels like he took this mantle, you know, that other people maybe wasn't. You know, he took his celebrity, you know, his star, and he did something with it. Yes, he has money, so he's not really, you know, focused right now. He's blessed. He feels blessed with these blessings. Here's that card. He does feel blessed. The King of Pentacles is a blessed. He's blessed, you know, with family, with money, you know. I think he was adopted, or I don't know. I think, was he adopted or something? I don't remember, but even if he was, the family that he was adopted into or whatever, he's very blessed. I'm not sure if he was adopted or not. Don't get me, I might be getting him mixed up with someone else, but he's very blessed, you know, and he's also always the guy that wants to do the right thing. Okay, what is his cross to bear? His cross to bear is the threes is like coming together, you know. So his cross to bear is sometimes he is unable to come together, you know. It's to come together to put forth that effort. And maybe his cross to bear was, maybe it didn't come together for him, you know. Yes, he stood out and he did what he did to make a stand, but other people, maybe he thought other people would follow him, you know, and do it. There was a few, but not as many as he would have liked or he would have hoped. And that was his cross to bear. You know, he felt like, look at this, is Superman. He felt like, you know, he was going to be this Superman, this protector, this person to stand for injustices, and this person to, you know, do the moral code. And he thought people would come together behind him and rally behind him. And it really didn't happen. Yes, some people did, but he got a lot of backlash for it. So that was his cross to bear, you know. Of trying to be this leader, this protector, you know, this kind of fatherly energy. You know, he got the back. That was his cross to bear. Underneath that it was his foundation. You know, his foundation. You know, it just is the four of I always look at this card. This is what's that? The guy from the Lord of the Rings. You know, the guy with the ring. You know, the first guy with the ring, the little precious. So, you know, it was his foundation, the foundation that, you know, underneath it all was that he thought that his star power, what he's his foundation of who he was going to produce something, and it didn't produce what he had expected. The outcome didn't turn out the way he expected. Okay, and the past. This was his burden. He felt like he was carrying the burden for everybody. He felt like he was carrying this burden for everybody. He felt like he was carrying these victims on his back, like, you know, that he had to take a stand, that he had, that these deaths, these victims, that, you know, he took it upon himself to make it a part of his burden, like, you know, to speak out, to do something. That was his burden. That was what he felt. And he felt like, you know, he didn't get any help. You know, he didn't get any help doing it, even though other people, but nobody in his field, his friends, the people who surrounded him, nobody else really. There was a couple, maybe one, two, or three that, but he felt like he himself had took this burden upon himself, you know, and he was carrying it by himself, and he's also carrying the repercussions of his actions by himself. What's on his mind? Okay, so on his mind is the Two of Cups. So it could be choices or it could be a love interest. Let's see. The Tower. Okay. So his choice, what's on his mind is that his choices that he made has caused this, you know, this this tower, this destruction, this uproar in his life. The choices that he made, you know, has caused this uproar, this you know, destroying of what he once was or what he had to give. His whole little world kind of got blew like to smithereens. His whole world turned upside down, you know, and because of the choices he made, even though the choices he made was with good intentions, you know, they were with good intentions. But he feels like he's on this journey. He feels like he's on this journey on his own. He felt like it feels like now, once the dust is settled from his whole world going upside down, the dust is settled, and he feels like he's on this journey on his own, you know, and the only real people that are, you know, around him. I don't know if he has a sister, a mother. It looks like, you know, two women and maybe a third woman, but the third woman isn't really, as her eyes are closed, you know, she's not really fully there. But I see there's two women that, you know, are in the background, you know, on his journey, that, you know, are trying to be encouraging for him. But he feels like he's on this journey, through this hard time, through this sadness, you know, because things aren't going right now. It's a dark time for him. He feels like he's on that by himself. Let's see in the future. In the future, he's really, you know, he's really sad. You know, this is the Eight of Cups, so he's really sad. He's in this reflective stage. Like, what could I have done differently? What could I have changed? You know, I tried to do this good thing. I thought I was taking a stand for something. You know, I thought I was bringing the light to something. And he's in the reflective stage if he just wants to walk away, you know, or if he wants to still, you know, stand and fight. He's reflecting, a lot of reflecting right now. And there's going to be a swift change. The Wheel of Fortune, you know, it's going to be a swift change Change into what? So he's going to have a lot of hard times financially. There's a window of hope. But right now, it looks like, he's kind of in that reflective stage of, of thinking about of woulda, coulda, shoulda, and the Wheel of Fortune is like a swift and sudden change, and the swift and subtle change has to do with, you know, his business, his job, his security. He's going to see some hard times financially, even with his career. He's going to see some hard times, but there is a window of hope. I want to see about this 49. He's supposed to go to camp with them. Is he going to get this job? Was it? No, it was the Seattle Seahawks, I think. Is he going to get this job with the Seattle Seahawks? I don't think so. I don't think so. Or if he does get it, it's not going to be long that he's going to stay there. I feel he's not, and he's going to be really sad about it. He's really, he's really sad about it. And I think also this has to do, there's a woman in here that's kind of like sad, and I think this is the same woman that was down here. Remember I said one woman, their eyes is closed, and then this woman, I don't know. I feel bad for him. He has a tough time coming ahead. I don't know, even though he's in talks, I think, with the Seahawks. This is the Five of Cups. It's not, it's not looking so good. There's a lot of things spilled, but, as of this, there's one, he can't look at what's spilled. He has to look at what's gained. So, it's time for him to really, I hope he probably doesn't. I wish that he sees this message, is that he really needs to use manifestation. He really, really needs to change his thoughts, get out of this depression, get out of this woulda, coulda, shoulda move, and think of the future, or what he wants to see, and go for it, and put those thoughts into action, and to do it. And he will have blessings. He has to be the magician. He has to make moves. Nobody's going to give him anything. So that's the end of the reading for Colin Kirkpatrick. Trying to do another couple of readings today. I'm going to try. I hope to talk to you guys again later. Tell me what you guys think. Did I get anything right? What did you feel about Colin Kirkpatrick? I really don't know anything about him. I just seen a couple of things on the news, and I thought he would be interesting to see where he is now, because I seen him in the paper kind of today about this camp. So you guys have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.